All right, I wanted to cover the Form 1A with the changes made on the 3rd of October of this year, 2022. And I was going to cover that on Tuesday, and we just had so much important things to go over that I was dropped from the program. But I did want to go over these things with you. It's super, super important. This is the listing agreement, that new Form 1A, and I wanted to be sure that we are all understanding it, which is that on paragraph 4, which is the compensation paragraph, lines 27 through the end of the page, it's 4A is the listing firm compensation. So now instead of putting in the total compensation, for example, 6%, just picking a number, you would put in 3%, that portion that is going to be just the listing firm's compensation only. On 4B, you're going to put in the blank there, which is line 34. You're going to put in the amount that is going to be shared with the selling office, an agent. So it would look, if it was a 6% total that was the intention of the seller, you would put in a 3% on line 30, and then you would put in a 3% on line 34, which would 3 plus 3 equals 6. So that would be how you would handle that. So the problems that have been coming up that I've been getting asked about on a daily basis are that 4A1 is for an unrepresented buyer, and you would handle that the same as with dual agency, which is 4B1, which is line 43. And so line 43 and line 32 are going to be handled the same. You're going to put in the total commission that you, the listing agent, are going to get paid in instances where, first on 32, which is unrepresented buyer, where the buyer does not have an agent and they just come to you and you're representing the seller only. So you would put in the commission you're going to get paid. So maybe instead of a total of 6%, you're only going to get 5. I don't know. I mean, that's all up to you and your seller. You have to negotiate that. And then on the dual agency side, same thing. So if the buyer is being represented by you also, in addition to the seller, sometimes the seller thinks there should be a little bit of a discount for him. Personally, I think you should get paid more, but everyone has their opinion and it's negotiable. So you would want to put in that amount that is going to be paid total to you for being a dual agent. Okay, so this is all done in advance, this unrepresented buyer and this dual agency. So if these situations come up, this is what the compensation is how it's going to be handled. Okay, so now the problems that have been coming up have been with the rest of the agreement on page 2 in as far as the compensation goes. So this would be items 4C at the very top of page 2, along with item 5, which is the property access and key box. So 4C, which is the very top of page 2, is addressing the tail provision, which used to be called an extender clause. So once the listing expires or is somehow terminated through mutual agreement, however it's done, the commission, if somebody comes back and buys it who had learned about it through your efforts, you would still get paid a commission. That's what that is. There is now on the input sheet, there is now a provision to put that in on the input sheet, which there hasn't been before. So you need to be aware of that you'll now need to put that amount of time into the input sheet also, which is Form 1 for residential. So there's a default of 6 months for that tail provision, for that period of time, and you can write in, there's now a blank, so you can write in 3 months or whatever you want. Then the issue that's really been puzzling people is number 5, property access and key box, because what this is talking about is, what if a non-member of our MLS comes in and wants to show a buyer and write up the deal? The problem for the seller is that within our MLS, we already have certain rules and things that are being followed by the members in terms of liability and such, and now we have a non-member coming who really there's no provision to protect the seller for liability. So the check boxes in this section, lines 60 through 65, these lines are on the far right side, you would need to check the boxes of, does the seller authorize or do they not authorize for a non-member to come and show the property? Do you, as the agent, authorize or not authorize? So you and your seller have to be on the same wavelength in terms of, are we going to allow a non-member of our Northwest MLS who's not a member to come in and show and sell and that kind of thing. Okay, so it doesn't matter what they answer, it's their choice, and it's your choice if you want to participate in that or not. But if you do want to participate in it, then you need to use Form 1P. Okay, that's a brand new form, 1P, Property Access Agreement, and it is the agreement that a non-member would have to sign. So you would, I suppose you could put this in your listing documents, or you could just wait until, if some non-member came and approached you and wanted, you could just then send them the Property Access Agreement, which they would then sign, and then these provisions all will be there to protect the seller. Again, that's Form 1P. Okay, and so those are the things that I wanted to make you all aware of in terms of the listing agreement change for Form 1A. And Form 1B would of course be the agreement for where the seller can sell it themselves and not pay a commission, which we would not use because we're intelligent people. So we would use Form 1A, and these are the changes that have taken place on October 3rd and are ongoing. So from now on, we want to be aware that this is how the compensation portion is going to be dealt with. And that's all.